Welcome to Meadows Bee Farm. We are now in mid-July, and I want to take you around and see some of the things that we visited earlier in the year. So here we have the barn, our old apple tree, and come closer. So you can see with this tree, there are many, many apples on it. They are doing really well. They're filling out. And I'd say part of the reason they're doing so well is we've had enormous amounts of rain. Some would call it flooding. Banks have overfilled, and we have been digging ditches throughout our farm to try and move the water so that we can all work closely together. It's been great for many things. It's not been great for our annual garden. A lot of the gardens have flooded out or the seeds have rotted because it's been too much rain. But it's been good for our perennial trees, which I'd like to show you today. Our trees, our bushes. If you can look over here, it's been really good for our livestock. We've had many, many baby chicks born. Our sheep are doing well, our cows are doing well, our grass is doing well. And so with this new type of moving nature, we are trying to work with it and let it guide us so that we can make abundant amounts of food. So let's go for a tour, and I'll show you what's happening here at Meadows Bee Farm in mid-July. Thanks. Several years ago, we began to become interested in the fruit of Scandinavia, and we've been growing a lot of it ever since. Here you see our gooseberry patch. I've had to completely cover it because of Cobalt. Our peacock absolutely loves gooseberries. But we have access to it, and we have been picking now every single day. There are a few gooseberries left on here. They're absolutely delicious. We made gooseberry pie with our camp last week. And I would really like to focus on growing more gooseberry. They like wet weather. They seem to be able to withstand the cold weather, and they're full of nutrients and absolutely delicious. So if I have to get my vitamin C, I'd like to use the gooseberries as a way to do that. Here's one of our many Cranberry Viburnum stands at Meadows Bee Farm. Cranberry Viburnum is a beautiful plant. When it turns red, it has these berries that actually last throughout the winter. They are full of vitamin C, and they're a painkiller to boot. So I make cranberry shots from the seeds, which I cook up, add a little bit of sugar or maple syrup to, and keep in small vials. I use old spice jars. It was very common in early America to have Cranberry Viburnum right outside one's house, because the cranberry actually relieves pain and is a painkiller. I have noticed this, and I've been raising them for about 20 years. They do naturalize, which is an added benefit, because not only are they beautiful, but they're very healthful. So we'll look at a few other stands. I have them around the farm, and people really enjoy looking at them as a decorative garden specimen. So let's go see some more. Here we are in our Hugelkultur patch. We planted this with the Young Farmers Program early in the spring, and we've done the Abenaki style of their corn, which is the Roy Callis corn. It's a short, kind of a stunted corn that is great for a cold, wet season. Perfect, because that is what we seem to be having here in southern Vermont. It's got squash and beans, which are coming up. Squash you can see over on the left and the right, and the beans will be coming up and wrap around the corn. We will use this as a cornbread, and we are teaching our children how to make this in our summer camp. Here are a few other beds. We planted 4. Here's another one. One we planted with the red Abenaki, one with the yellow, and one with the orange. We're doing a test to see if it actually comes out that way. There's another bed with the Joe Pye weed below and strawberries below it. And then here's a third bed. They're actually, it's quite abundant. We've done flat gardens as well with the same corn, and we'll go see how that is. And last look, it was about half the size of the Hugelkultur. So again, a Hugelkultur is made Sepp Holzer's way, and Sepp Holzer is a permaculturist out of Austria. And it's built with a bed made of wood logs. So as the wood rots, it waters the bed, which is one of the reasons why we love to use it. I find it's an easy way to garden and actually throws food out to you. We'll watch during the summer and see if that actually is what happens. At Meadows Bee Farm, I have about 90 currant plants. These are black currants. It's one of the healthiest plants I believe we grow because of the dark black skin. It's full of phytonutrients. We use it in yogurt. We don't really make jams because of the sugar. We don't use much sugar here. But it does make good additions to pies, yogurt, a smoothie. We put it in some kombucha, or people just snack on it. The kids really enjoy it because it's a food they can get right in the field. So we're going to pick these today. We have to pick them every day. And we will get several gallons throughout. We'll see what we get throughout the year. We do have fencing. It's a way to define the bed, but also a way to keep deer out. Yeah, so we're gonna start picking. Here we have Eloise picking currants. Eloise, is this your first time picking black currants?
Well, I've been picking a lot of currants these past weeks with the campers at Meadows Bee Farm Camp, and we made a pie with gooseberries and I think some black currants as well. It was very delicious.
Great. Well, thank you. You can see the currants. They're very big, they're very black, and they're pretty ripe. We can thank all the rains for plumping them up this year. It's not very hard to pick a currant. It's easier if you can use both hands, so I often put the bucket on the ground and just drop them in. One of the great things about having an old farm is that they're often old apple trees. What I'm showing you here is actually one apple tree. When fall comes, we'll be able to harvest these apples, and we have a pressing area, and we will make ourselves a lot of apple cider. Some we will turn into apple cider vinegar, some we will turn into hard cider, and some we will can for the children. So we're expecting to get enough cider to sell some and have enough. I died. Here by the stream, we're coming to another black currant grove. Again, it is covered to protect it. Many black currants here. You can hear the stream in the background really running. I'm going to pan over and just show you our garden. So at Meadows Bee Farm, the perennial gardens, the annual gardens, the wildlife, the livestock, it all works together. And wherever you look, there's usually a little bit of all of it. That's our intention, to farm with nature, to farm with the elements, never letting a snowstorm or a rainstorm or even a drought take away the abundance of food here. I think it's working with the perennials. It definitely works with the livestock and the grasses. It's harder with the annuals. For that, we are very lucky to have a few hoop houses. And some of our annual food we actually grow there. So we'll pick these currants and then we'll move on. Stay tuned.